Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic Unleashed. Today we're going to do the next item on the list that you people voted for. It is Savannah Citadel Act 2 Night, which is the final extra act of the base game for Missouri. After that we are completely done, much like we are already done with Apotos, which I don't think that I've mentioned, but we are basically cleaning up the normal levels in these two locations, but we are definitely not finished with side quests yet. So this level immediately presents what it's about, and it is balancing. Oh boy, when I first saw this I was like, oh, I remember this being a complete pain, and I just spent ages slowly going over these balance beams, but we have one advantage here. We can actually turn the camera. Isn't that nice? And you can go a little bit faster when you jump, which is actually my downfall, because I'm an impatient man and I hate going slow in games, so I always try to shortcut a little bit. This level is piss easy if you take your time. You just have to, you know, do that and not lose your cool. You also shouldn't look at the background, even though it's really nice. Like I really think it's cool how far up we are, and that you can see everything in the distance, including the village itself. But in general, yeah, the biggest issues are these jumps here to land directly on the balance beams, but most of the time you don't have to do that unless you really want to, like here, to shortcut. But this is basically just me being, as I said, completely impatient because I don't like doing this. It is not that bad, however. We are basically seeing the entire balance beam section of the level already here. So it's not like this is a 10-minute affair where you have to keep trying and not fall off, but still I try to shortcut, and still I eat shit every time because it just doesn't work. You can't jump on a beam sideways. It's just not a very good idea. This one here, short hop, and it does work. And once again, as we have seen countless times before in Sonic games, in 2006 as well, whenever the level designer realizes, oh wait, my level is actually kind of bullshit, they just put extra lives at any point where it is slightly more difficult, so that you don't get the game over, but it's like you're still losing all the time, right? So I don't know. Anyway, you can also shortcut by running, like what I just tried. I've seen that in a speedrun, but you know, these guys are better at the game than me, and sometimes I catch myself and then I die anyway, and this was just a normal slip up, and like, come on, just get it together. We can do this. It's fine. Just take your time a little bit and it's going to be okay. Now, something that I also find fascinating about this is there is a huge amount of this level that is completely optional, like all the stuff to the right here. Of course, now that we got the collectible, there is no real reason to go there, but all of these 10 rings, they suggest that it is like massively important, for example, for an extremely tight ring score at the end. And I'm actually thinking this right now because I've never consciously S-ranked this level. I probably just died after the midpoint at some point when I first played this and was like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's me gone, and I'm not interested in S-ranking everything right now. So I always thought this was going to be a nightmare of going through every single path and every single corner and getting all of these 10 rings so that we can finally reach here. And then when I do this, then I die here to something stupid and I have to recollect everything again for like 5 minutes of slow walking. But this is just a version of the level that exists in my imagination. This level isn't that bad, actually. Like, now it's starting to be a little bit more fun because, again, you don't have a shadow, so it's terrible to jump on these platforms. But it's not that bad because mostly what you're doing is just jumping a straight line. Here's like you run, you double jump, it's okay. And then we have all of the medals, actually, okay. And then we do this here, and here I realize, okay, this guy's actually electric. This is very bad idea to just go for it, but it's not like I could see him. So if he was actually electrifying me because of bad timing, just bad luck, I would have been real mad. But well, that didn't happen. So we can now fight the final boss of this level, which is just another one of the fat guys. And you know, I tried to be tricky here, but honestly, it's just one of those guys, and he's not very good at his job. These guys are terrible. So just go in and hit some buttons, and all of this chaff around him will die anyway, unless he spawns more. But by that point, he probably is dead, because it just doesn't take that long to take one of these guys out. And then you don't even have to kill the small guys. You are immediately done with the level already. And I'm like, okay, I'm surely missing a medal here, because this can't be that easy. Like any sort of pickup that I just didn't realize that I had already picked all of them up. It just didn't feel that way, and I was like, oh, okay, good, time for a replay, getting all of the rings. And wait a second, am I like 1.6 times the S rank requirement? What? How much time do they expect you to take on this level? Why did they put all of these rings there? Did they test it with somebody getting all the rings, and then of course the time bonus is terrible? I don't know. Anyway, just if you want an S rank here, just do what I did and ignore most of the level. It's fine. So I'm here like, this is going to be a 5-minute video. Yep. After editing, so let's do some side quests, because there's always more side quests to do. It is great. And I do actually strongly recommend, if you play this game for yourself, don't just push for the levels all the time, because you're always going to have some sort of glut of, there is a Werehog level, there's another Werehog level, and I don't really like them that much. Again, I get it, it's fine. Just do something else in the meantime. Run around town, talk to people, do some side quests. Most of the time as Sonic in the daytime, you're doing some really quick and easy platforming stages. Sometimes you're doing a Werehog side quest, but it's like, it's fine. You're not spending 15 minutes on those, right? And getting frustrated because you die 13 minutes in because of some bullshit death plane. And no, I have not forgotten it, Spagonia. But yeah. And now something else that I really wanted to do before I start all of the side quests, oops, I actually want to jump here, is fill up my flash. But while I'm doing this, I forgot that I hadn't actually gotten the dialogue with the professor yet that would tell us where to go next. By the way, this is how the gramophone looks like. Fascinating for sure. But I do like that there are small illustrations for all of the tracks. So it gives it a little bit more flavor instead of just having, you know, names. And by the way, there are canonical names for the cutscenes, but I don't care. I'm not looking them up this time. It's fine. But yeah, he is going to tell us now that we have to go to Chunnan next. I already spoiled this with the choice of stuff to vote for, but now we have it unlocked. So we couldn't have gone there without going to the professor. It's actually mandatory to talk to him now so that he can tell us, by the way, fly to North China. But yeah. And then we can get a little bit of extra advice, like for example looking for medals behind doors, but jokes on him, I already got all of those, and another extra medal, so we are flush with medals now, especially because I'm doing all of the side levels, so that's nice. And we're off again. This time just getting a little bit more dialogue. I keep looking for Mauro, but I don't actually know where he is. Like I cut out a lot here and in the other video, but I don't know where Mauro is. Is that the side quest that is getting unlocked later? Maybe, probably. I don't remember all of those. And also I didn't really do all of those. Good for you. That's funny. Anyway, we're looking for a certain little girl. Right there she is. Hey, Polita. Yes, you're allowed to do whatever you want with your present. But yeah, she doesn't have the best relationship with her grandma, it feels like. And the grandma doesn't seem like she's a very nice person. Anyway, speaking of grandmas, last time I didn't do this correctly, so let's try to do it correctly now. I'm going to show you how I usually do this. I don't actually go out after I've seen all of her questions and then deliberately look for these actual answers. I just brute force these because, you know, I can't be bothered. Just remember, Gregorios is the old guy to the left here. What's not for sale? I don't know. This sounds weird and foreign, so it's probably not European. And yeah, this guy I just don't know the laugh of. So I just guessed, and I guessed wrong. So I could have looked for him in the entire town, but it's quicker to do this. I am always very tempted to say, no, I hate pop quizzes, because I do, but it's usually not that big of a deal to go through these. You just gotta retry and retry and retry, which is of course very realistic and how a quiz would work, but I digress. It's fine, and the biggest problem is that we have to do this for every single country. Because she's going to be in every country in a row now. Anyway, everybody is constantly telling us that we have to go to Chunnan now, by the way, just in case you didn't get it. Like half the NPCs are now programmed to tell you, hey, next destination, by the way. But I do like how they are doing it in general, because they're not like, oh, so I heard that you are going to Chunnan. Some of them are like, I always wanted to be there, or I've been there and I liked it, and so on and so forth. Anyway, this girl seems lost as hell, and we can't help her right now. But there might be something we are able to do about this regardless, about her confusion, because people cannot just be confused, you know, there always must be a reason for their troubles, and we will figure it out later. So this guy here doesn't know what his actual problem with Spagonia is, and Gregorios has some night terror things. So what could that mean? I don't know. Let's check it out at night immediately. Poof, there we are. And I didn't edit anything, by the way. This is just how quickly and easily the transition goes. And yeah, obviously he is infected by evil spirits. So let's kill all of these spirits. Wow, that's a lot of spirits. Hopefully I didn't overestimate my abilities. Nah, we're going to lawnmower through these guys using themselves. And it's really fun. I do like this a lot. On the actual PlayStation and Xbox hardware, I feel like this would chug a lot and the frame rates would be like horrifically low. But here, no problem whatsoever, because I am on a decent PC and this port is amazing, and we're already done. 30 seconds. Very nice. You don't get enough to unleash and be really quick, but you don't need it. It's all good. And you can also just do some claw swipes and stuff, you know. Anyway, time to get a new skill, the triple wild claw. Takes a bit to realize what exactly that is. I will look for it later on, but the triple wild claw is another charge attack, as in you run and then you do something and then you do an attack. And so is the needle that we just got, but that one is with jumping. It's actually fairly powerful if I recall correctly, and I kept doing it by accident the first few times that I played the game, because I was just too lazy to look it up, what actually the button combination is. But I should do this a little bit more deliberately, because they're actually quite good. But I cannot promise much. I will show them off this episode, and I do know that in the next episode, which I already recorded, man, this person has a huge nose, I completely forget that I have these skills. Whoops. But eventually I will get around to it. Anyway, Sammar is not lost. She's getting addled by dark spirits, you see? So let's help her and expel dark Gaia from people's hearts and brains. Because this is an upper boss mission, it is not actually very difficult. The enemies here are very basic, so this gives us an opportunity, as I said, to look for the skills. And I'm like, where are they? Where are they? That's the biggest fault. I feel like they should have had some sort of menu where it's just like, okay, so this goes here and this goes here, and you realize where in the skill tree you actually are at any given point, and it's not just a hidden list. Anyway, this is the spinning needle attack, and this is the wild claw, which we didn't see really. Now we see it. So you run and then you do these attacks, and that is very nice to combo out of running from one encounter to the next, and then hit the enemies. These guys are annoying with their blocks, so I'm going to do what you have to do when enemies block. You use the toss attack. For some reason this guy broke free of my grab, and I'm really annoyed. So come on now. Thank you, done. Let's move on. So that was a bit annoying, but it's fine. And I really do like the setup of this level here, where the townspeople are cheering you on and they're actually blocking the way so you don't get lost. And this makes it into a linear combat progression stage here, so you don't lose time from trying to figure out where you have to go. So it's really neat, and it really gives you that sense of you are actually in that town and fighting for the townspeople, and they are like, ah, very cool that you're helping me, Sonic. This guy here just healed these enemies from off screen, very annoying, and then he stunned me with some attack that I didn't quite understand what exactly the attack part was, and now I'm getting distracted and using bad moves, and I'm like, you know what, just screw it, damage time, aerial attacks, this is how you deal with wizards and all of the chaff around. That's what we have the unleash meter for. Yeah, this one was a little bit frustrating, and this one of those where I would consider speeding it up, but lots of people have told me to not do that, so I'm not doing it. You see the Werehog fights in their full glory, and finishes against enemies who tend to block. a good idea. If they are low and then keep blocking all the time, just get them out. And there is another guy in the way, so we go here instead. Very good. We still have unleashed shoes, and now I realize there is a bunch of small enemies spawning in, so that means that huge number of enemies still remaining isn't actually that big. I still did not unleash to kill the wizard real quick. Very nice, very good. I actually hit this also. Great slam. Kill a bunch of the small guys. They're already all dead, so we only have 2 more left remaining. Excellent. Now an actual good application of the spinning wild claw, X-scrambler, and this guy's low enough that the block won't help him, and we have a nice combo going to kill everything. I stand exactly where the last enemy dies, so they even get the XP crystal from the finisher, increased experience. Very nice, and we are done here for this part. And Sammar, who actually had a relatively long mission to get her exorcised with somewhat decently challenging enemies, maybe because she's not from Arpatos actually, I don't know, is rescued, and we can close this chapter and say goodnight as these 2 lovebirds silently judge the werehog. Thank you very much for your attention.